Narcissists steadily push people away from them. It's that constant devaluation, that constant need for them just to get this kick from watching you feel bad, feel like you don't have any sense of worth. And they do all that, and they don't really see like there's anything wrong with it, because when you're dealing with somebody who lacks empathy, that's really what it's about. They make you feel bad so they can feel good, but the only thing they recognize is that they feel good, so they think it's okay. And because they lack empathy, they don't realize that you, another human being, are suffering. So they tend to mock people, they tend to put people down, and if you call them out on it, they'll say they're teasing, that you can't take a joke, you're too sensitive. It's like this constant drip, you know. At the beginning, they might do or say a few things that come across as red flags, but you might not give it too much thought. You can kind of handle it at the beginning because, it's just been a few occasions. But think trying to sleep at night, every night, and imagine just that dripping sound, dripping sound, dripping sound, you know, and imagine the first night, that drip, drip, drip. Let's say you typically get 8 hours of sleep, but then so let's say you only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then throughout the day you're not feeling well, you're not very productive, you're not in a very clear-minded place, and then the next night you're hoping to get more sleep, maybe 10 hours, because you need to make up for the previous night's sleep, but the drip, 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 and you just can't rest. And then maybe, if you're lucky, you get another 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then you're even more tired the day after that, and so on. The next night, you have that same drip, drip. You can't rest, you can't sleep, you start feeling restless, your thoughts go in certain directions, you kind of go into this chaotic zone where you just really can't settle your thoughts, you can't get into a clear headspace. Narcissists drip feed you with their abuse. It's so subtle and it's so constant that any one thing the narcissist does to you, it almost feels like it's not worth leaving them because of this alone or because that alone. But when you look at the big picture, it's obvious you need to leave them because you're dealing with somebody toxic. But when you look at the big picture and you're trying to put the piece together, they're so good at gaslighting you and throwing seeds of doubt in your mind that you question whether you're interpreting the situation correctly. So you stick around, and they feed you a spoonful of abuse, a spoonful of condescension, a spoonful of demeaning you, mocking you, pushing you away from the people who matter to you. And then maybe one day you do walk away, because narcissists, they often don't discard you, but they push you away because you feel you have no other choice. And then when you leave, they make themselves out to be the victim. If you give them any airtime, they'll tell you about all the things they did for you. They'll tell you about how you're too sensitive. They're going to tell you about all the bad things you've done to them. They'll tell you how you're abandoning them just like other people have abandoned them. Probably one of their caregivers would have abandoned them as well. The original sin that set into motion who they are today, most likely. And because they are the narcissist, they don't care about playing these mind games with you and just filling you with comments that are full of shit. But because you are humane and you do have empathy and you do have a sense of humanity under your skin, you feel bad about that. And then you think you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. And if you don't take them back immediately, They'll tell other people how bad you are. They will smear your name. They'll play the victim. All the bad things you've done for them, all the help they've given you, they've done nothing but sacrifice for you, and then you've abandoned them. And it's quite effective because people fall for it. A lot of times people go back to narcissists because they just question themselves, and they're not sure anymore if what they saw was real. Maybe they misinterpreted. Maybe you're the narcissist. Maybe the one who is being abused is the narcissist. Yeah, that's what they do. It doesn't matter how much harm the narcissist causes you, how much they abuse you, how much they fuck with your head, or anything else for that matter. They always turn the tables, and ultimately, they feel victimized, and they make you feel like they are the victim. It's really complicated. And sometimes the only thing that really works is when you're dealing with somebody who you know is very toxic, very narcissistic. You have to let your emotions shut down in face of that person. You have to deal with them like they're a robot and you're a robot. If they're malfunctioning, you don't want to have any dealings with them. If they need help, well, you don't have the ability to help them. You're not programmed to be able to help them. That neutral place where you're just not feeling much, one way or the other, is probably your safest bet when you're trying to keep a safe distance from a narcissist. Because the moment you start thinking about it, the moment you start coming at it from a humane viewpoint, you're going to get screwed pretty bad. Thanks for watching.